Steve, good morning to you. I mean, there by the grace of God, frankly, for Donald Trump this morning.
Yeah, literally a thumb's width between this being a big news story and being the death of a prospective president. This was a cataclysmic disaster by the Secret Service that was just narrowly avoiding a catastrophe. And we shouldn't overlook the man who died and the other two who are fighting for their life as we lift President Trump and his family and the families of those that were injured in prayer. It's interesting, you note as you watch that clip, had Donald Trump not literally tilted his head just a moment, he was looking at a big screen that was carrying some graphics. Had he not tilted his head just at the moment the shot was fired, he would likely be dead tonight.
I know you can. At that point, when you hear you say that, you realise just how incredibly lucky President Trump was, and what a terrible disaster this would have been. Yet again, we see a gunman try and take out a president. It nearly happened, but Trump, very, very defiant, standing up and actually shaking his fist.
Yeah, that iconic photo of Trump, bloodied, unbowed, defiant, shaking his fist in anger, that's a photo that just reelected Donald Trump to the White House.
Look, in terms of that, I mean, I suspect you're probably right. However, it is important to look at the political reaction from the other side and the fact he has had a conversation now with President Biden, we understand.
Yeah, but what's more disgusting is that you have those on the left who've been mocking, saying, oh, make America aim better. There's one video that some of the left have put out of Rory McIlroy missing a putt that lips out saying, oh, the Rory was the shooter. The mocking of how did he miss that's come from the left. And let's not overlook the rhetoric from the left that has been calling for the assassination of Donald Trump since that Supreme Court immunity decision, urging Joe Biden to send SEAL Team 6 to kill him with immunity. The rhetoric from the left led to this, and I wish President Biden would be calling that out rather than just condemning violence generally.
Perhaps he will, and we shall wait and see on that. I tell you what, though, I mean, as disgusting as those comments are, it does just go to show how polarized things have become in the States.
Yeah, and I think that what we're going to see over the next few days, the Trump team is going to start their convention, pick a vice president. The Biden team has already announced they're pulling all their attack ads across the country. They're not going to be running the political attack stuff that would be typical to try to step on the other side's convention. President Biden does have an interview with Lester Holt of NBC Monday night. I'm sure this will be part of the topic as well. But I think that the left will try to ratchet down the venom right now. We'll see how long that lasts, with Election Day just about 120 days away.
Yes, and of course you also have to wonder what effect this will have on President Trump. I mean, yes, he was defiant, and as you say, that's now going to become an iconic image of him shaking his fist in defiance, and apparently well, and we are told that he is well, and he's been discharged from hospital. But, you know, when he sits down and starts to think how incredibly close he was to death at that moment, you do wonder what sort of effect it might have on him.
Well, and it raises the question, as you were talking about in terms of the security, you were raising, Ann, that there's this barrier that's bulletproof that's about thigh high in front of the president so they can immediately get him down. But what else was missing with the Secret Service, in addition to not surveying the landscape? Typically, they're going to have drones that are surveying the area. They're going to have dogs. When, again, it's been a while since I was working with the White House, but the Secret Service had dogs sniffing everything. Apparently, none of that was being done here. And the Trump administration and the Secret Service have requested more security for this president, and it was denied by the Biden administration. I think that's going to be revisited. I've talked to a couple of members of Congress tonight here in the States, and they say that there will be very quick congressional hearings to get to the bottom of how this could have happened.
Yeah, well, as you say, those questions do need to be asked and answered in all of this. But I mean, back to Ann's point, in a sense, Steve. I mean, he's not going to be the same man after this, is he? I mean, who would be, frankly?
Keep in mind that the first time he ran, there was somebody that tried to attack him from behind. And rather than cowering, Trump turned to him to confront them. This is a guy who has different DNA. And some people have said, that the only guy that would respond in this way previously in our history would have been Teddy Roosevelt. And there's a lot of Teddy in Donald Trump.
Okay.
Well, yes, I don't know. I just think that he is a human being, and when you sit down, the shock of realizing how close you came at that second, he could have lost his life.
But from there,
Yeah.
that close.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.